Thank you very much. So welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining for the Uno platform with the AI session. This is going to be very interesting. So my name is Jérôme, Laban, I'm the CTO of Uno platform. And, we've been amazed at what AI has been doing ourselves. It's been very interesting. And we've introduced Uno Platform Studio 2.0 a few days ago. And so we're going to talk about all of this and have some interesting demos about it. But before we start, let's talk about what Uno is. So Uno is giving you the ability to build native web, mobile, desktop applications using C# and XAML. It's a cross-platform. It runs everywhere .NET runs. It's free and open source. And this year, we're adding AI features on everything else that we've been adding for since 2018 for Uno platform. So let's talk about what we've been adding. So Uno Platform Studio is our set of tooling that sit on top of the core of Uno platform that bring productivity enhancements to users. And traditionally, there's been two ways to write code. There's the IDE where you write and type your code directly, and that goes directly into your files and then into your app. There's also Hot Design that we've introduced last year, which allows to visually design your app and get a WYSIWYG type of experience. This year, we're adding agent compatibility with three pieces. The first one is a documentation and scaffolding MCP that gets the latest and greatest information from Uno platform so that the agent doesn't go too far off. There's an app MCP that pretty much gives the ability for the agents to have eyes and hands, pretty much, giving it superpowers to be able to interact with the running app. And that's pretty important. And then there's the Hot Design agent, which is a new piece that's integrated to Hot Design that allows for designing screens and go back and forth and dialogue with an agent to design screens inside of the app. Running app, that's the important part, running app. So all of that is very interesting. And all of this is sitting on top of Hot Reload. And Hot Reload is a critical part of all of this. Hot Design and your app is able to use it, and your ID is able to use it, but it's particularly important for MCPs and the flow of agents that are using the app MCP to give them the ability to modify the app while they're editing it. So we're going to talk about that. On the other things that the features that Uno provides for Hot Design, you can edit your app. This is the running app, so you can see here the ability to select elements in the tree, modify their content directly, adapt your UI, as it goes, and use your running app. Particularly if you have APIs that are calling in, it's not like a standard designer. You can edit really your running application. We're introducing the Hot Design agent, which is an agent pretty much like the others, but the idea here is that it gives you the ability to preview the content without applying it. So I'm going to show you that a little bit later. The MCP servers we're introducing are compatible with a lot of IDEs and agents. Of course, VS and VS Code, but also Cursor, Cloud Code, Open Codex CLI, and GitHub Copilot CLI. And that's all that kind of integration that makes it super cool to see in action. And we're going to see those a little bit later. And finally, so Hot Reload, I was just talking about it, but the things that we can do with it, like Xbind supported, you can Hot Reload in WebAssembly on mobile applications and supporting. We have the best in class for the .NET experience, it allows for having the dev loop go a lot faster when you're developing without having to restart your app. Particularly if you're in that 10th page of your workflow and you want to edit that page, it takes a while to get there. So that's why we insist a lot on Hot Reload. So without going too far into the details, I want to get to also design to code. So we have a tool that allows to take Figma designs that are in Figma, the website and design surface, and export those designs into XAML that's pixel perfect that you can integrate directly into your app, and basically start off from what the Figma design is. But we have a demo that will enhance that experience just at the end of this session. So demo time. I mean, who doesn't want to see code running inside that kind of session? So the first one that I want to show you is basically create an application with Uno platform, how to do that. If you haven't done that already, you can use Visual Studio, you can use .nu and others, but I'm going to be using Visual Studio. You can install our extension. I'm going to be creating a .NET Conf dotnet conf app. And this is going to start our wizard, which allows you to select your platforms, your frameworks, your presentation, your markup, and a host of other features that Uno is providing. And it's allowing you to view quickly what's available and what you can use in your apps. Optionally, you can choose with whichever target you want. So let's create that app. And first, what I'm going to do is let the app. I'm just going to let the app start up by itself, and we're just going to head directly into the app, and I'm going to come back to Visual Studio to explain a little bit more of what we're doing here with Uno. So the app has been created. You can see that it's a single project. I'm just going to be waiting a little bit for everything to settle. We're going to be testing specifically for desktop because it's easier right now, but you can do that with other targets. So the app is building. What we're going to do is head it directly into HUD design. And to do this, once the app is started, you can expand. So you can take a look at our HUD design status at the top, and you can click on the flame here, which is going to bring you into the HUD design. And what you can see now with the newest version is that we have the agent mode here that allows you to basically type and interact with your page here. So what I'm going to do here is paste a prompt that will allow to make an inspiration login page. So we're going to click on generate, let it run for a few, then come back and take a look at the results. So in Visual Studio, the first thing to note is that the application is a single page application. You can configure features here. All of that has been set up automatically by the wizard, but you can add and remove as needed. No NuGet packages to add. That's something that was complex before. We removed that, and other people are happy with this. You have your platform-specific code here. So basically, anything that you want to customize can be put in there. It can be custom XAML, can be custom C#, or it can be inline in the rest of the project. We also have the presentation layers and services. So those are just placeholders for you to add your content in there, and that's what the rest of the tooling can use. So that's what you can see here. And let's go back to the running application to see if it's finished. No, it's still not finished. So you can see that in here we've been selecting portions of the content. So in here I have a small design here that gives me what the application and the models has been trying to figure out about my application. So it knows about the context, it knows about the pages that I have in my app, it knows about the name, it sees that it figured out that it's a .NET Conf app, so it kind of figured out a tagline to put there. But I can see here that there's something interesting because my section on there here is at the top, so I don't want to do that. I'd like to move that a little bit down. So let's center vertically the right side of the page. So we're going to send that over, and we're going to say improve that particular design and make it better. So we're going to click that again, and we're going to go back to Visual Studio to discuss a few more things. So one of the important parts when you're getting to Uno is to use the Uno Studio app, which is giving you the ability to determine what features you have. Note that the MCP features that we're going to talk about a bit before are split in two. The interactivity parts are free to use. You just create an account and you can use them. HUD design, the agent, HUD design, and some parts of the MCPs are part of the pro features, but you can get started very easily with the community features. On the other pieces that we've implemented Uno is the icon that's on the bottom right here, which is also included in Rider and VS Code, which is called the Uno platform status, and it's something that will give you hints about what the environment to develop Uno apps is. So if you're restoring your solution, Visual Studio restoring your solution, if you have installed everything, all those workloads that need to be installed, if they're installed the right way, Uno check will check for that, making sure that the dev server, which is our connection between the app and the running app and Visual Studio or the IDE, is running properly. So that's kind of changes that you can see here to make sure that the environment is running properly. Let's go back to the app again to see if we have something that's been updated. So let's see if it's done the right thing here. So we can see that the model has adjusted vertically. So our login page is actually going down a little bit, and we can go and apply that page once we're done, and we can iterate with the agent a few more times to get to a point where we can integrate that app, that design properly in the app, and that's pretty cool to see being able to interact with this. So we've been having a lot of fun with it, creating some very fancy designs, and we hope you're going to be able to experience that for yourself. So that's it. That's where we are for the agent. Let's go and head into some more features. So I have a few demos that I've been recording here for speed purposes, because it's sometimes it takes a bit of time to get all things together, and there's a lot to add for that session. So what you see here is Visual Studio Code, and we're going to be asking the agent to design a weather app using an open weather open API definition, and try to see where it goes. So what we need to set up first is the Uno MCP server, so that the documentation is readily available. We have a snippet, a prompt that can be used to create the app. In here, we have basically initialized an Uno platform creation expert, and we're going to paste it in a prompt that will provide some instruction on how to create the app, what visually it looks like, if it's a clean mobile UI, things like that. And we're also going to paste in an open weather API implementation. So we're going to be asking it to connect to the open weather API with Kyoto directly to in the live app. So what you can see here is that the model is the agent is asking a few questions there about how to create .NET apps, how to run Uno check, which is running right now. You can see that it's there, so I didn't run it because on this particular machine it was there. But if your setup is not there, it will run properly. You can see that it's asking about the options to create a new Uno app and figuring out what should be used to create the app. So you can see here that it's determining the options to do that. You can see it's using Toolkit, it's using desktop, because I just wanted to see the desktop app at that point. It's using XAML and everything like that, so you can see Kyoto. Now it's creating the app, and you can see that it's filling up here. Now, I'm just going to be moving forward a little bit faster, because there's a few things that are not particularly useful just as a detail. So you can see it's setting up Kyoto, asking questions about how to run Kyoto properly. Now it's analyzing the current structure of the app to determine what it should be adding. And after it's done, you can see that you will be able to see that it's so it's importing Open API. It's generating the endpoints. So you can see here that it's generating all sorts of calls that are related to open weather. This is not something that we had to do. Just the model figured it out by itself using the documentation at its own knowledge. That's pretty cool to see. It's all, so now it's going to be detailing a plan that's it's going to be implementing. It's going to ask us, is it the right thing to do? So you can say, just go ahead or just make adjustments. In our case, we're just going to say, go ahead. That's what we want. It's going to ask for us for an open weather API key. So that's the API key. It's going to figure out where to put it. It's going to figure out that it needs to be probably in an app settings JSON file somewhere in there. So that's defined. See, so it modified and placed the API key directly in there. Now it's going to be making all sorts of modifications, adding API service configuration classes. It's going to be adding all the surfaces that are needed. So we can see it's creating the models, the weather service, the models for the data access. You can see that some of the generations are incorrect. So for instance, that client data is not right. It's not using the right API. And we're going to see that the model is going to be able to determine that it's not correct, and it's going to be adjusting itself to generate the right API calls. As you can see here, the namespaces are not right yet. So it's modifying the models. It's creating custom styles also, because our app needs to have a very distinctive UI design. So we're going to be modifying this. Now it's updating the main page. So creating all the sections that are needed to show our weather app. You can see that there's a progress string that's integrated as well, making sure that you're showing a proper loading wheel. Now it's built the app the first time, and we can see that there's some namespaces issues in the main view model. So it's going to try to figure those out. It says, I need to fix this, added the right namespaces in the right place. It's building again, and you can see that for the client data call that was there, that was incorrect. So it knows that it needs to change something great based on what's inside the app, and it knows that it should be the 30 calls instead of having an indexer. But what's interesting is that there's an obsolete warning there because the call for get async is not the right one. So it knows about that, and then calls get as one call, get response async, which is the right call. So now it's updated. It's continuing to make additional modifications to the services, making sure that it's running appropriately, and that it's using the right binding. So it determines that some of the bindings that it wrote are not the right ones. It's going to try to replace the bindings so that they behave it the right way. So it's updating this. Now, again, in the bindings, and it's going to try to build the app again. So you can see that the app is now building properly. And now it's going to try to start the app. So before that, we need to restart Visual Studio. That's something when you create an app using the agent this way, Visual Studio needs to be restarted properly for the extensions to work properly. And you can see at the bottom now that there are the Uno icons showing up that were not there before. Now we can continue. And now it's going to start the app using hot reload. So it determined that the command was not the right one, modified it a bit, and now you can see that the app is starting. It's not showing the right content because probably the API key is not set up properly. So it's going to figure out by taking a screenshot. It said, it looks good, but it's not loaded. So it's trying to figure out the configuration. And it determined that the configuration was not loaded properly. So for that, we needed to restart the app. And there we go. We have an app that has all the information showing up. And there we can see that it took a few screenshots, and also there are calls that can be made to the MCP. So those are provided by the MCP. So run Uno app get screenshot, and all of that is information that our MCPs, the app MCP, is able to provide for the running app, so that the models can react off of this. So you have the uptime, you have the process name, and things like that, and the agents are able to figure out a lot based off of that. And now that the screenshot has been taken, it's also taking a snapshot of the content. So you can see that it's figuring out the details of the running app, being able to see all the items and their reference, so they can be interacted on directly. And it's finalized the screenshot, and you see that it's taking a screenshot and determined that the temperature is the right one. At the time I made the video yesterday, it was 2 degrees Celsius, and it's interpreted the right things. So it's read and interpreted the image that was returned by the app screenshot. So now we're done with the app. Let's make it cool. A lot cooler, actually. Or actually, cooler and retro, to say it like this. So now I have my app again, and I'm going to ask the model to do something super nice. What about if we made the app look like Windows 3.11 styling? So this is we're changing the app so that you're asking the model to change the app so that it reuses the iconic classic gray interface that was there before. So this is the palette, and it's so we're going to be let it run a little bit, and the app is making modifications to the color palette. You're going to be able to see that it's modifying a lot of things here, and then it's going to be restarting the app once just to apply the content properly, and changing the inner borders and the visual aspects of the app. And then it's going to restart the app very quickly. And then that's it. It looks like a weather app that's coming from 1990. So that's super cool. Also, one of the things that we could do is that in Uno 6.4, we added the ability to extend in the title bar. This is a feature that Martin Zickman has been working on really hard for the past few weeks, and it's working super nicely. We can see that the agent is asking questions about how to integrate that, and you can see that it's set up drag rectangles and able to determine that. The application is just going to be restarting very quickly to set that up. And you're going to see that the application is going to look exactly like it should, which is a weather app with the extension into the title bar and with the style that's coming from the Windows 3.11. So that's the demo and the retro thing. It's super cool to see that. And the models are pretty nice on that kind of things. Now, the next demo is all about running code on the command line. We're going to take the same thing, but this time it's designed to code. And we're going to take a Figma design that's coming from the actual Figma. We're going to take a link that's coming from it, and then we're going to paste that into Cloud Code CLI. And this is running on Linux, by the way, so that you can run on macOS and Linux, which is always interesting. And we're going to see here that the model is going to figure out that it needs to take the design that's coming from the weather app on Figma, take screenshots from that app in Figma, and then those designs in Figma, and then download some assets, figure out what to do with the content, and design some mock data just from the design. So it's figuring out classes and implementation details and everything else just by looking at the design from Figma. The original app didn't have anything. So it's creating converters, it's building the app in the background, starting the app, and there you go. This is the app started from Cloud Code that built this. And you can see on the side that the two lists are not exactly right. There are a few things that are not right for the icon. So we're going to ask the AI to adjust the icon. So we're going to give it, it's asking a few questions about which icons should be modified. So we're saying to it that the agent that it should be changing a few things. So it's modifying in the background using hot reload. You can see that the icons from the top list has changed, and same thing just for the down list, for the bottom list, made some updates, and now it's updated properly. So it's super cool to see on Linux, just no UI. I've just put the UI for VS Code just for you to see the files being modified. And another part that's interesting is that you can get into hot design from there. The app on Linux is just another app. It has our dev server and tooling that's running properly, and you can view the app, modify the app, change some content in there, edit templates, modify the visibility, change zoom in, zoom out, and things like that. So all the features that are provided by hot design to edit your app from Linux. All from a design to code using Cloud Code CLI. That's Cloud Code CLI. That's super nice to see. And finally, the last demo, it's something pretty interesting. So a very long time ago, 5 years ago, Paul Thurrott created a demo of a WPF app. He wanted to see what could be done with this, and created that simple .NET pad. What we decided to do is give that source that repository that's on GitHub and ask the AI, can you translate or really migrate this application that's in WPF and make it an Uno app? And it actually did. So let's go take a look at what it did. So in here, what we do is we have a migrate prompt. It will analyze the content. We have the legacy application that's in that folder and the new application that's basically just an empty app from Uno. And we can see that the agent is going to be analyzing the app that's the WPF app that's in the legacy WPF folder. It's going to be analyzing a lot of things like the about box, the font dialog, the input box, and it's going to create a migration plan. And you can see here now it's at the bottom using the latest Visual Studio Code update, and it's going to create settings infrastructure, modify the input box, creating font dialog, analyzing all the settings that were there in the original application. Determining what should be updated and fixing and translating updates as it goes. The interesting thing is that it translates by finding the right APIs to call based off of the interaction with the environment, but also will be able to interact with the app while it is running afterwards. So let's move forward a little bit. So it's modifying the font dialog, creating some interesting content there. So let's skip some portions there. So it's creating all the font dialogues. It's a big one. We got the I'm just going to drop a little bit more. There we go. So it's searching about refining some operation with content related to menu bars and accelerators and things like that. And let's move forward a little bit more. So this is about creating the app itself, and now it's building the app, finding that there are a few things that don't work. For instance, that list box cannot be used, but it should be using list view, which Uno does. And then the app successfully built in the end. And now it's starting the app. And it's interesting to see because it's pretty much looking like the original one, except for the fact that there are a few things like the underscores and the menus. So that's the kind of things that we are able to ask the agent to figure out. You can see that it's able to type inside the app. It's able to click on menus, open them, take screenshots, determine that it's actually doing what it should be doing. You can see that the About menu is actually a changed version of it, where you can see that there's Uno platform version instead of WPF version inside. So it's making all those modifications. And in the end, you're going to notice that we're going to be asking it to make some changes because the underscore should not be there. So what we're going to be doing is asking it to remove them so that they're properly supported. And you can see the hot reload kicked in and modified all the menus at once so that they can react properly for the application and look better. But the rest is looking properly. Oh, and you may not have seen, but the agent actually took a screenshot of this and reacted to the fact that the content was the right one. For instance, here, it started the app. Let me see here. In here, you had said it reads the content of the app and it's able to make all sorts of modification in there. So it's pretty interesting to see. It's mind blowing in many cases where the agent is able to understand what the app is doing by interacting with it. So it's pretty cool to see. So that's it for the demos. It's those sessions are going so fast, and we have so much to show every year. But just to give you a very small recap on this, we're introducing those MCPs for documentation and being able to give you access to give the agent access to your running app, and also the hot design agent that's giving you access to creating designs directly in hot design, and all of that is using hot reload to make it super fast for you to develop your apps and make sure that the agents are behaving properly. So I hope you enjoyed that session. Give it a try. Let us know what you can do with it. It's amazing to see what the AI agents have been able to do lately, and have some fun and let us know. Happy end of .NET Conf.